Hi, peace and light, everyone. This is Ten Nebula, and I'm talking to you about my own personal spiritual journey to witchcraft, to Wicca, being a goddess priestess, being a witch. And in this video, I'm talking to you about releasing the fear, releasing the illusions that surround paganism and Wicca. And on my personal path, the goddess was calling to me. I was already very much invested in my own spiritual journey, my spiritual path. You know, doing the wandering, visiting other forms of religion and other faiths, and going to different centers, and listening to different teachers. And Wicca and paganism and the goddess craft spoke out to me. When I started learning about paganism, learning about witchcraft, it it definitely rang a bell. It rang very true for me. And so the goddess was calling to me, and she was calling for me to be willing to learn about the goddess craft. And so I was drawn to some really amazing teachers who had their works. Z Budapest and Starhawk and Diane Stein, really amazing spiritual teachers who have dedicated a lot of their lives and work to the goddess. So I was learning it from some really great sources, and there was some fear initially, because of the fact that we come from this Western background. A lot of us are like born Christians or Catholic or what have you. And, one of the fears regarding paganism and witchcraft is that, it's an illusion, it's based on fantasy, it's not real. And that's something that's just propaganda that basically over the centuries has taken a root in our culture, and that also says it's very connected to the belief that the spiritual realm isn't real. A lot of us don't include that in our daily lives, in our work. So that was one of the fears I had to move past, the fear of like paganism, witchcraft being fantasy and just BS. It's just la la stuff that we don't need to be bothered with. And also the other fear is that it actually is true, that it is very powerful, and that you shouldn't touch it and be bothered with it because it's lower and demonic, and Satan, Satanists, and all this weird stuff. And I had to move past that fear because my heart was telling me that this was my truth and it felt right for me. And going towards goddess craft, that may come up for you. You may be confronted with these fears from the past, because again, we're beings many of us who are doing this work, who are light workers, we've been on this planet numerous times, and we've done this before, especially for a lot of us who are witches and goddess priestesses and goddess priests. Like, we've done this work before, and sometimes we've done this work in centuries where it was very much feared, and there was very high costs for doing this work. And there was penalties for doing this work, So we have that in our bodies. We have those beliefs, those feelings. Remember it, those memories, and we have to move past that if we want to own our truth. If we want to be our authentic self, we have to move past the fear. And that's what I had to do initially to move towards the goddess. I had to let go of those fears. I had to let go of those illusions. Let go of what society was saying. Let go of these beliefs that Wicca was wrong, honoring the goddess was wrong. I had to let that go, and I had to be willing to learn, to stay open, to trust my own heart, to trust my own intuition. And by doing that, we become so much braver. We become more trusting ourselves. We become more trusting in the universe. And when you trust the universe, miracles happen. When you trust yourself, miracles happen. And yeah, it's definitely benefited me, and I want to share that with you guys. So I want to thank you so much for watching my video. Feel free to check out all my other amazing works. Find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. You guys all stay blessed.